Hello, everybody. Well, we're going to start checking the Unit 11, the one that I told you that we're going to continue with the Green Book, the beginner. I'm going to share the first page of the Unit 11, and you can also check it with your book. I'm going to share that, and we're going to check some of the things that are in the unit. Okay, and you can check it and do the activities later. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is the unit. And it says here, I can do that. And this is about the use of can, especially. And we use it for abilities. It has two different uses. One is for abilities and the other is for permission or to invite or offer. But in this moment, we're going to check only for abilities. Here you have 7 different pictures. We have Marcos, Laura, Justin. Okay. We have George, Lola, Oliver, and Margaret. And on the exercise 1, you have here what they do, their job, or what if they have a job or if they study. In this case, as you can see in the picture, Marcos is an interpreter. Here you have to write the jobs. For example, Laura, what is she doing here? She's working on a map, or, well, not especially a map, it's a plan, more like a plan. And the only option we have here is an architect. So Laura is an architect. Remember when we talk about jobs, when it's only one person, we have to write a letter A or N, okay? And in this case, she's an architect. With Justin, he is a pilot. He is inside the airplane. Then we have George. So what does George do? He is a farmer. He's on a tractor. We have Lola. She's an athlete. And remember, because the word athlete starts with the vowel A. Then we have Oliver. He's a schoolboy. And we have Margaret, that she's a grandma. It's not a job, but it's the only option we have. The second activity, you have to read the description here and you have to write one of the options that we have in the exercise 1. This is one of your homework, the first that you have. Okay. Well, I'm going to continue here on page 81. We're going to check some examples about the use of can. We have some examples in the book. It says listen and repeat the questions. This is an exercise we're going to do next Saturday or in the next class. And here you have some examples about the grammar. So can, as I said, is for abilities. We're going to check some examples about some abilities. So I'm going to stop for a moment here and then we continue. Okay. So I'm going to show you now some examples about pictures. Okay. Abilities are especially verbs. Okay. I can, well, Superman can fly, yeah, or the birds can fly. In this case, the girl can run. Most people can jump. She can skate. You can ski on the snow. We can cook, okay? You can say here, the singer can sing very well. My friend can dance. All are abilities. So we're talking about abilities. This is the main use of can. Okay. So now we're going to check some examples about the use of can. In this part, okay, you have the uses of can in affirmative, and we have negative. In affirmative, with everybody you can use can, okay? And here you have the examples. I can type, you can spell, he can sleep, she can listen, we can drive, they can work. With everybody is the same, can. The only difference is the ability, type, spell, sleep, okay? But this is very simple because of that, because with everybody is can. And we don't have to use the letter S, we don't have to use ing, okay? Or the ed. If you remember, we use ed when we speak in past, or ing when it's an activity that we're doing at the moment, or for some special activities. Or the S when it's he or she, if you remember in present simple, but in this case, no. Can is very simple because we can use it just with any verb, with an irregular or with a regular verb with no problem, no conjugation of that. And here, we're going to check these examples, okay? Well, here you can see an example about what is incorrect and what is the correct. This is incorrect because the person is using I can swim in, and this is not. The correct is to say I can swim. Also is incorrect if you use or if you include the preposition, for example, to. I can to swim. This is also a very common mistake, okay? No, please don't use any preposition. So here you have some examples about the use of can, but I'm going to focus more here in the pronunciation. When it's affirmative, my emphasis, there are two ways, okay? One is this. You can, when it's affirmative, you can give the emphasis on the ability. What is the ability here? Swim, cook, run. So I can swim very well. I can cook quite well. The girls can run in the yard, okay? That's the main stress or the importance. When it's negative, we are going to give more the emphasis in the word can, not in the ability or not in the verb. My parents can speak English. Okay, I can do the work. This is another way to pronounce the word can't. In British or in your book, you have the example that when it's can't, you say can't, okay? Long, not short, not like I can. It is can't, okay? I can do the work. This is one option when you pronounce the negative of can. Or the other is I say, my parents can speak English, okay? You raise your voice here. You give more emphasis. Or here, I can ride a bike. The importance is in the negative, not in the ability of ride. Here is the same. This can jump the rope. But when it's a question about abilities, here the stress is in the answer when it's affirmative, because this is the important thing that I want to give to the other person. If one person is asking me, can you play the drums? Then I say, yes, I can't, okay? My emphasis is here. So usually when it's just a sentence, the stress or the importance is going to be here in the word or the ability, okay? But when it's negative, the stress or the emphasis is in can't, not in the ability. So you have to practice, because for Mexican, it's difficult to identify I can swim and I can't swim very well, okay? The difference between I can swim and I can't swim, okay, very well. So if you are speaking in negative, you have to give the emphasis here in can't. But if you're speaking about something you can do, you have to give the emphasis in the ability. Okay, so that's the difference between can and can't, when it's affirmative and when it's negative. Well, this is about pronunciation. This is about the grammar, okay, that for everybody is can. And don't use s, ing, ed in the verbs, okay, of course, in the verbs. Or, as I said, the preposition to, for example. So let's continue. On your book, on page 81, you have everything here. You have here all the people, and with everybody you can use can or can't, and then only the ability. And this is about the pronunciation, the different pronunciations. These are only the symbols, the way you find it in the dictionary, okay? And this is why it's in a different color, okay? Here is can't. Remember, when you have these 2 points, it's a long sound, can't. It's not can, it's can't, long, okay? That's why here you have also the word can. Remember, when it's the answer, you have to give more emphasis here. When it's just a question, well, can you drive? There's not a lot of stress. So that's the use of can. This activity, okay, well, sorry. The activity here, we're going to do it in the class. It's a listening. We're gonna listen and complete here. So I'm going to skip it and continue on the next page. Also here, we're going to do this in the class. It's a listening. Here you have to listen and underline what is the correct affirmative or negative, okay? And this is about the thing that we were checking. You have to listen and underline if this is can or can't. This is also listening, but it's more listening comprehension. We're going to do it here in the next class. And this part, it's about the listening, but it's talking about the adverbs. So we're going to check the examples that you have in the book. The examples here are very well. It's the page 128. Okay, this page. You have the grammar reference. And here we have examples about the adverbs. We have 2 kinds of adverbs. Adverbs that are regular, okay? And we have irregular. So let's see. We have 2 kinds of adverbs, irregular and regular. The function of the adverbs is to talk about the ability, okay? It says here, you speak English well. What is the ability? Speak. And the adverbs, there are different kinds of adverbs. There are adverbs of manner, okay? Adverbs of time, adverbs of distance. In this case, we're going to check the adverbs of manner especially. The adverbs, they describe the way we do something, the way we have an activity. In this case, how the person speaks English? Well, this is my adverb. And usually the adverbs, they answer the question, how? Okay. How do you run? Quickly. Okay. How do you cook? Very well. How do you how do you paint a picture easily, okay? Usually the adverbs, they answer this question, how? How you speak? Well. He drives his car fast. How? How does he drive the car? Fast, okay? So the adverbs, usually the adverbs of manner, remember? They answer this question, how, okay? And it's important the order in English. In English, remember, it's very strict in the order of the sentences. In this case, first you have to say what the person does. In this case, the person drive. Then what? What does the person drive? A tractor, a truck, a car, a taxi. And then how? This is usually the order that we have to respect in a sentence. You have to say first, what is the activity? Okay, and then the extra information, in this case, is his car. And finally, how? Not like here. This is incorrect because first the person says what the person does, and then he's saying how, and then what. For that reason, this is wrong. It's not correct. Okay. Here, this is an example of a regular adverb. This beautifully. This is an example of a regular adverb, and we're going to check why it's a regular adverb. Okay. In these examples, it says that the regular adverbs, they finish in a Y. We have the adjectives, and if we want to convert or change this adjective into an adverb, we write only ly to the majority. Fluent, fluently. The adjective beautiful, the adverb is beautifully. Slow, slowly. Careful, carefully. Usual, usually. If you remember the adjectives, they describe the nouns, okay? Nouns, los sustantivos, okay? Los adjetivos describen a los sustantivos. What are the adjectives? Characteristics. Big, beautiful, the colors. Pink, enormous, great, wonderful. All the characteristics are adjectives. And they are usually the number one. And then the number two is the thing. For example, if I talk about the dog, I say my small dog, okay? Probably I have two dogs. Okay, I say my small dog. What is the characteristic? Small, okay? This is in English. Or if I describe my room, no? I say my pink room. The colors are adjectives, so their characteristics are the number one. So usually this is the order that we have to follow. Okay, but not all the adjectives, they can be converted into an adverb. Okay, in this case we're checking about actions, remember, and this is not an action. So if we have slow, we say slowly, okay? Careful, carefully. So the adjectives, this is the order. The adverbs, no. The adverbs are, the order is after the activity, okay? First is the activity, and then is the adverb. So we have two different things. So I can, I'm going to use the first example. My small dog. If I use the same example about the dog, I say, my dog, okay, well, sorry for the spelling. My dog runs. Okay. I'm going to talk about the ability. Runs. How? How does he run? Quickly. Okay. In this case, I'm describing the way the dog runs. Okay. I'm not describing my dog. I'm describing the action, okay? The way the dog runs. In this case now, here small is describing the dog. This is an adjective, okay? And the other is an adverb. Okay, this is an adverb. Remember, adverbs describe the actions. Okay. So they say how we do the things, the activities. But we have, as I said at the beginning, regular adverbs and irregular. So the regular are easy because they finish like this: complete, completely. Yes. Any other like deep, deeply. Irregular are called like this because you have to memorize. What is the irregular adjective? The regular adverb of good? Well, okay. Adrian Fernandez is a good driver and he drives very well. You don't say he drives good, he drives well because drive is the action. Fast, it's an irregular because it's fast, the adjective, and fast, the adverb. Late is the same, late is the adjective, a late arrival, okay, or a late airplane. And my parents arrived late last night, okay. Early is the same, is early. Early the adjective, early the adverb, hard, hard. I work hard. In this case, I say here, I work. I'm describing the activity of working, okay? I work hard. But I can say also the activity or the homework, okay? Let's say the homework, I'm going to just write this. The homework is hard or is difficult, okay? So in this case, I am describing the homework, or I can say the hard. The hard activity. Maybe an activity that is very difficult, very complicated for me. So I say the hard activity, okay? So it's an irregular adverb, hard, because it is describing an action, okay? Or hard is describing the activity, okay? An adjective or an adverb. So we have these two things to use. We are checking this because we're talking, remember, about abilities with can, okay? So let's go back to the student's book. We're going to check. We'll continue checking the students. Sorry, okay. So here, this is an activity we're going to check again next class about the adverbs, and we're going to practice, okay? In one of your homeworks, you have to write, you have to talk about you, and you have to tell me about some abilities that you have, some things that you can do, and you have to use some of these adverbs. What can you do? What kind of activities you can do a little bit? What can you do really well? Okay. Remember just the order. You have to say first what you can do, and then how. Okay. Well, this is also another. I'm not going to check this at the moment because it's different. It's the other use of can, but not at the moment. And this one, it's another homework you have. You have to read the information about the history of the internet. You have to match here, okay? What is the verb and the noun, okay? Sustantivos, remember, nouns, no sustantivos. Animals, things, objects, places, people, All of these are examples of nouns, sorry. And verbs, actions, you have to match them. What is the logical? You can listen to radio. What can you watch? Okay. What can you play? Etc. When you finish, sorry, you have to answer these 3 questions about the internet, and after that you have to read the sentences and you have to mark, this is true, this is false. If you say false, you have to underline here. Okay, why? This is incorrect or this is false. Maybe I say, this is false because, for example, in this part it says that you can buy and sell clothes. And here in the text it says that you can buy magazines. So you have to tell me, this is false because in the text says this and here it says that. It's very important that. And the last thing we'll check also is vocabulary. On page 86, we have here some vocabulary of the unit. This is about adjectives. Okay, remember characteristics. Here you have all the adjectives and you have to match them. Well, I'm gonna do it. You do it on your book and you just compare. So what do you have here? You can say an old man, a young baby, okay, a tall person, a tall man, a tall woman. It is to describe people. Fast and expensive, what can you describe? A car, okay? My neighbor bought a fast car. Or I can't buy that car because it's very expensive, right? The next is delicious or fresh. What can be delicious or fresh? Food. Okay. Then we have big, cosmopolitan, and busy. What can be like this? A city, a big city, okay? Like Mexico City. A busy city, like Tokyo. Tokyo is a busy city, okay? Busy, the pronunciation, remember, is busy, B. Busy because there's a lot of movement, there are a lot of activities, a lot of people coming, going, okay? Similar to Mexico City, busy, with a lot of activities. Cosmopolitan, it's a city, any city that there are a lot of different cultures, like New York. New York is a very cosmopolitan city because there are a lot of people from different countries, different cities, different nationalities. This is cosmopolitan. Dangerous or exciting? What can be? In this case, we have only weather, sport, or films. Of course, the most logical is sport. Sport, a dangerous sport, okay? An exciting sport. And fun, interesting, or boring? Films, okay? Maybe you can say Cantinflas made a lot of funny films, no? Or any other like interesting could be maybe in my case an interesting movie like the documentaries, okay, are interesting films or movies. And finally, warm and sunny, cold and wet weather. Okay, this one. So you have to check also the vocabulary here if you don't know one. If you don't remember what is wet, investigate in the dictionary is very important. If you investigate, you expand your vocabulary, okay? Or warm, if you don't remember, check it, because if you check it, you will remember. If I tell you, you forget it. So you have to, this is the other homework you have to do. You have to choose 3. For example, if one person chooses fast, okay, fast, fresh, and boring. So I choose 3 adjectives and you have to write or invent questions or sentences. If I choose, for example, fast, I can say the Lamborghini is a very fast car, okay? Or fresh, if I use fresh, I love fresh salad with my food. If I use boring, maybe I say, I don't like historical films because they are boring, okay? Or do you like, well, not do you like, maybe here. Another example here. What do you prefer, for a fresh salad, or do you prefer a delicious meat, okay? In this case, or can you prepare a fresh salad for me? Or I want a fresh apple, okay? So you have to only invent a sentence that you prefer. And well, that's most of the things that we have in the unit 11. Check again, check the grammar that you have in the student's book. In all your books, you have a box that is called Grammar Spot. In the Grammar Spot, you have the grammar and you have the page here of the reference. If you go to this page, you go to the grammar of the unit. In this case, we're checking the unit 11. Here you have all the grammar of can, affirmative, negative questions. You have also the adverbs, okay? You can study here if you have a question. Please check it, study, and if you have a question, you can let me know on the chat in the WhatsApp, and I'll see you next class.